Emfhuleni team to introduce yourselves. Just say your name and your designation and pass the mic, and then we'll come back for 5 minutes of presentation. Then we will start the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to everybody in the house. My name is Cogta, the Executive Mayor of Emfhuleni Local Municipality.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Bongile Sokluza. I'm the Speaker. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon to the members of the committee. My name is Emfhuleni Kanso. I'm the MMC responsible for local economic development and development planning at Emfhuleni. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Chair. Greetings to all the members of the committee. My name is April Ntuli. I'm the Municipal Manager of Emfhuleni Local Municipality.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. My name is Motiba Mohofe, the Chief Operations Officer, Emfhuleni.
Afternoon, Chair and honorable members. I'm Faridin Masianuka, CFO, Emfhuleni.
Afternoon, Chair, and afternoon to honorable members. My name is Hassan Mako, MMC responsible for finance and revenue, Emfhuleni. Greetings to the Chair of the Cogta Portfolio Committee of the National Assembly, Utogotela Uzweli Mkhize, members of the Cogta Portfolio Committee, members of SCOPA who are here, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Honorable MEC Jacob Mamabulo, the Speaker of Emfhuleni, and the Municipal Manager and the entire team that is here. Honorable Chair, members of the Portfolio Committee and colleagues, I wish to thank the National Assembly Joint Portfolio Committees for the opportunity to share our story about Emfhuleni Local Municipality. We have been afforded 5 minutes to summarize our presentation. We have submitted a detailed report and a presentation as required, which specifically responds to the specific questions we were asked to respond to. I'm therefore presenting a high-level summary of our report. Chair, it is a systemic historical challenges that persisted on service delivery failures that led to Emfhuleni Local Municipality to be put under or placed under Section 139(1)B. And this intervention was by Gauteng Exco that commenced on June 2018. And thereafter, financial recovery plan was therefore also imposed to the municipality in January 2019 up until today. The focus area for this intervention was primarily on 3 things. One, it was on finances of the municipality, and also on supply chain management, and the last one on infrastructure or service delivery. This intervention therefore lapsed on the 31st of August 2022. As a municipality, Chair, the key committees that we have in our municipality, one is MPEC, the second one is Audit and Performance Committee. We have also the Risk Management Committee. We also have the Anti-Fraud and Anti-Corruption Committee, and we have Ethics and Petitions Committee, and we also have the Financial Misconduct Disciplinary Board. MPEC in our municipality, Chair, is very much active. There are 5 strategies that as a municipality that we have adopted that we wanted to look at. One, it is to create a high-performing municipality. And for us to do that, we were able to appoint the senior management. When we started, we didn't have the many of our senior leaders were in acting positions. But as I speak, we have the appointed, the CFO appointed, the COO appointed, executive directors appointed. We also have the chief audit executive appointed, and also the chief risk officer. We also have senior managers on engineering and also on legal aspects that are appointed. However, we are still running short of 2 executive directors that we still have to appoint, which is on IP and public works. The reason for the delay of appointing this, it is we made offers, but our offers were rejected at some point, Chair. Then the second strategy that we are looking at, it is the strategy to respond on electricity matters and also on water matters. On electricity, the municipality has signed a distribution agency agreement with Eskom, whereby together with Eskom we are working on resolving electricity matters, that they are also supporting the municipality on the rollout of smart meters and also on upgrading of substations. On water, we are working very close with Eskom on the program that we have launched today as we were sitting here, which is called the Special Purpose Vehicle. And the other one where we are not doing much, but we are in the process of uncovering it, it is on the waste management. The roads and storm water, it's another aspect where we are looking, where the municipality will be acquiring a jet patcher that will be assisting us to seal or reseal our roads. But we also, as a municipality, managed to do the master plan, where we are saying that this is our approach on dealing with water. As I speak to you, Chair, 2024-2025, the municipality has managed to spend over 100% of the MIG, which is a very good progress on the municipality. On the third strategy, special and economic development, it is the revitalization of the Vaal River City, the Vaal SEZ or Special Economic Zone, and the Vaal Aerotropolis, which will be in a position to elaborate further as we continue with our engagement. And the fourth strategy that we are looking at, it is public safety and social transformation, whereby we are merging the municipal bylaws with our traffic department, where we are looking at the matters of fire and rescue, where we know that we have some challenges on the fleet, and also the municipal health and our clinics, and also the transfer to the provincial health as it is planned. And the last strategy that we are looking at, it is financial viability, where we are saying that the municipality, if we can be in a position to run this municipality without interferences of attachments of the bank and also without water challenges and electricity challenges, we'll be in a position to say this municipality is now therefore adopting a funded budget. Chair, in our report, detailed report that has been shared, it will also uncover that the municipality is part of the debt write-off review, whereby the municipality has benefited up until today about 1.9 debt write-off from Eskom and Treasury, which is a very positive thing. And we are looking at the second one that we believe we will be in a position to achieve any time from now. And as I conclude, Chair, we want to also explain that just behind me, Chair, there's also a lot of members that are coming from Emfhuleni, as and when we interact at some point, if you permit, Chair, we'll also invite them to come and share on their departments or any other thing that we'll be seeking clarity unto. And we are saying, Chair, we are here because we believe that this platform is going to assist us to unpack about the aspect and the future of the municipality. Asibonge Kabazel.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor. When we ask questions and you think someone needs to be brought from the back, just make space on the side. They can actually come join you whenever you think it's necessary. You are meeting here with the joint committee, joint committees of SCOPA, Standing Committee on the Auditor General, and Cogta. We are largely following up on the latest audit outcomes in relation to municipalities, and so we would want to engage with you to look at how we can actually change the situation within that municipality, particularly to ensure that we end up with a better outcome. And you come from a very difficult audit history, and so we would like you to move to a point where when we say Emfhuleni, we will say clean audit every year. And so that requires a lot of commitment, it requires a lot of support, it requires also a lot of understanding that the dysfunctionality of municipalities has to end. Good governance has to reign in all municipalities. Financial mismanagement, corruption, negligence, and all the transgressions that are reported by the Auditor General are addressed. So that's the spirit in which we come to deal with this issue. So we will therefore be opening up issues for discussion, and then we will move to get you answers as we go along. We will start with this team. We'll take a few questions and request answers, and then continue in that way. I just ask you to focus on giving us facts, technical information. Don't wander away and get into things that might cause delay. So we would like to just be on the spot, deal with concise answers as possible, and then make sure that we have covered as much ground as is possible to do. Thank you very much. Honorable Member, please take the floor.
Ngiyabonga Kabazela. Good afternoon to Emfhuleni team. It does not look good. Siqoqo samadoda with one woman. That is the first comment I would like you to address. Chair, through to you, can I also find out what is the name of the CFO?
Emfhuleni Masianoka.
Okay. And what is the name of the supply manager?
Supply chain manager is Jason Munkwani.
Okay. So, to you, Mayor and the team, can you please clarify the issue of the court case? And then clarify to us, when was it? I think it was 2024, whereby the CFO took the supply manager to court, claiming that there is a corruption that is taking place within the supply chain management, whereby the CFO claimed that on the WhatsApp group, he is encouraging corruption. And he took the matter to court, and he won that matter. I thought it was you when I asked for your specific name, but since it was happening last year, is a cause for concern. Please take us through as this committee, because we can't just allow that to happen and then there's no clarity on that one. The second point on the supply chain management, I just want to get a clarity. It is said, or it is alleged, that the person who is the head or who is the leader of the supply chain management is a member of a certain political party, is a very senior member of a political party. So therefore, I want to ask from you, leadership, there's no conflict of interest whereby you took a person who is playing a role in a certain political party to head your supply chain management in order to also to curb corruption. Secondly, on the issue of forged documents, whereby around about 17 officials were suspended during the spaza shop. There was an issue in the country about the spaza shop, and all departments, especially the government, tried to deal with the issue of spaza shops. You remember we even lost our kids from school. Now there is a matter that I need a clarity from you. Is it true that the municipality was engulfed with the officials who was distributing fake permissions to the spaza shops? As a result, there were 17 officials that were suspended. If you can update us with how far with that case, if it happens, and how far with the case, and who was fired, there was any decision taken. The diesel theft that is happening and implicated workers as well. Please update us, go to town about it. The ghost workers in the municipality, that is also milking millions of taxpayers. How did you solve that? Is still happening? If it's still happening, why is still happening? And if it's not, how did you address it? The last one, Chair. Emfhuleni, I just visited Emfhuleni, I think 3 months back. Each and every corner is a dumping site. Why you don't have waste removal in Emfhuleni? If you have, why are we experiencing that dirty that is happening in Emfhuleni? Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. No, first question. I would love to understand from council. You are it appears like you are a financially struggling municipality. How did you take a decision of writing down 91% of your outstanding debt? Writing down 91%. Yes. Of your outstanding debt. How was that decision reached? 1. 2, how are you operating as a municipality? As at the end of the last financial year, your vacancy rate was 67%. I'm trying to grasp it. How are you operating? How are you giving services to the people? I mean, more than 15% of vacancy rate. I've never seen such a thing. Lastly, Chair, you are losing 62% of all water that are flowing through your pipelines. How are you, I mean, and 24% of electricity, both of them are above norm. The water is even worse because the norm for electricity is 10%. For water, it's I think it's 20 or 30%. Please, can you just allude that to me? And secondly, in the unauthorized expenditure that you wrote down of 7.6 billion, so all of it, there was no one that is wrong. Since you never took disciplinary hearing for anyone, you never took any consequence, there was no consequence management at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to the Emfhuleni team. The name is Talente Gupega of Scopa. Chair, I just want to know, the Auditor General's report reports that there's a serious issue of irregular appointment of service providers from the municipality. Now, if that is the case, what has the management or the team running Emfhuleni done about that? Has there been any consequence management? Has there been any arrests? Have people been fired? What is the case? On the allegations of maladministration as well, the Auditor General is complaining about some serious allegations of maladministration. Could you, number one, talk to us about those allegations? What is that about? Number two, could you please tell us what has there been any consequence management for that? If not, why not? And then the council wrote off 7.65 billion of unauthorized expenditure. Could the possibly, I'm not sure if it's the mayor, the CFO, or the municipal manager, could you talk to us about that? Explain to us what led to that decision? And then on your financial report, other expenditure, could you talk to us about those amounts as well? What is other? There's an expenditure item called other expenditure. What is that other expenditure that cannot be detailed as to what the money went to? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening to everyone. Dombo Viomende, member of SCOPA. Over and above the question on the write-off, which the AG says it was done illegally, why there are no investigations on your fruitless current, declared fruitless and fruitless and wasteful expenditure and unauthorized expenditure? And then the unfunded budget. What informed the tabling of your budget? Because it had no indicators as to it's going to be a budget to do what in the municipality. And who drafted that budget? It's very interesting that a budget will be drafted, tabled, whether unfunded or funded, but once it doesn't have indicators, that's a cause for concern. So who drafted such a budget and then all agree that it must go and be tabled as unfunded? Then there is an ineffective use of consultants that were supposed to be dealing with your asset register, yet there were still serious material misstatements that were identified in terms of the asset management in Emfhuleni. But of much concern and interest, your offices were closed at some point. The customer care center was also closed. And this was due to the fact that rental was not paid. Why was that? Because we are in offices so that we can give services to the people. Anything that's going to disrupt service delivery should be priority. Why would there be an office of a municipality that is not paid for in terms of rent? And why are you not complying with the debt relief contract that you have in terms of ESCOM, as it is advised by the Treasury? Why are you not then complying to that contract and pay ESCOM so that we do not have issues with ESCOM? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to the delegation. The name is Kwenza Madlala from SCOPA. The first question is on the 600 million municipal infrastructure grant that you guys returned. What could have been the causal effects of that? And what mechanisms have you put in place to prevent future occurrence of the same situation, given the state of your infrastructure and the entire municipality? Number two, you are registered to be spending a lot on security, about 12 million by April or in April. I want to understand what is the reason for that. What are you securing? The next question is, I would like to understand the age and customer makeup of your ESCOM debt. So you can just take us through that. How long back does it date, and what is the makeup of it, of the customer for it? I want to check if you've got any private-public partnership plans in place as the municipality. And lastly, I have been to Emfhuleni. I was there on constituency oversight. The entire place is dilapidated. It's a sad scene for people to live in. What is one service, at least out of all the services you have to deliver, that you can say you are delivering with distinction? Just one. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a list of questions. Please deal with them.
No, thank you very much, Chair. With the questions posed to the team, I will attempt on few that we will share with the rest of the team. The first one that came, Chair, as a direct question, is about the matter between the past CFO and the SCM manager in Emfhuleni. And I must also indicate, Chair, that the matter was between the two, which was the CFO had a case against the SCM, and it was not in relation to the municipality. Hence, at the end, it became the matter between the two. And even the verdict that even came, the court judgment, it also reflected so. So the municipality in that regard was not then put as a respondent in the matter. On the matter of the 640 that was unspent, the question that was coming from Babu Madlala from Scope, that was returned. In many headlines, it appears as if the municipality sent back the money of around 640. But the reality was that, Chair, during that year, I think it was 2023-2024, what happened, Chair, is that the account of the municipality was attached by two creditors, which was Eskom and Rainwater. So for about 8 months, as a municipality, we are unable to have access to the money that we had. So as a result of that, in that 8 months, the only money that was coming was the money that was paid by the customers or by the residents. But we as a municipality, we didn't have any access. We couldn't pay anyone. We couldn't do any of the transactions. So as a result of that, up until June 2024, and then that's when the financial year ended. Then, as a result of that, then that's when that the money was then returned. But one other thing that happened during that time of the attachment, there were several letters that were written to different political offices. The MEC, we even wrote to the Minister of Finance. By that time, we even wrote to the Office of the President seeking intervention in this regard. And one of the interventions that was brought in was Schedule 6B, whereby the National Cogta was saying that on part of the money that we have, Cogta said we cannot continue to put money that will not be unspent. And so then therefore, Schedule 6B suggested that whatever project that the municipality has will work together with Cogta, whereby the municipality can do the assessment of the work that has happened, but in terms of payment, it will be paid directly by the Cogta. And that was one of the interventions. But the other good thing that we needed to look at, in particular in that financial year, when this started, it started around November. But in terms of the MIG that we had already spent by that time, we were sitting at 42%. Meaning it was saying that we were progressing very well. But unfortunately from November, then the attachment that ran up until June was a result of we couldn't spend. Hence, in the previous financial year, as I indicated, that we managed to spend the MIG of 100% because there were no attachment. And the attachment that came recently, it was an attachment that came very late, whereas we have done significant progress in the matter that we had.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Executive Mayor. Thank you, Chair of the committee. Chair, I will respond on some of the questions that are raised by the members. I will start with a question of the 17 official that are on the process of disciplinary. There's a specific question that the honorable member asked about a specific employee who was issuing the license illegally. Our manager corporate services is here. Where I miss out, he will add. But what I want to report, we've dealt with that matter. There's a disciplinary process that is undergoing. Is approaching to an end where we'll get a verdict on the outcome of the process. And the other 17 officials that were attending disciplinary, they vary. We know the cases that we know that they vary between the departments in their nature. It's not only for for spaza shop. They range from economic development. You've got others from community services, others from shared services. So any transgressions, Chair, that's what we're dealing with. And some of these members, Chair, the case are concluded and they are dismissed, including the three senior managers that are reporting under Section 56 managers. Their case are closed and they are also dismissed. There's other cases that the question came where it was found that there was a diesel theft. Those who normally visit Emfhuleni, you will hear that there was no diesel, but we have found the people or the culprits that it was like a syndicate. So there's a case, on that. They are attending disciplinary processes. So their cases are underway. We are following the bargaining disciplinary process to finish the cases. Then there's also a case, a question regarding the ghost workers. Chair, I would like to report that I'm not aware of any ghost workers. And the issue of the dumping site, we agree, Chair. Yes, our area is very, very, very filthy. There's a causality to that fact, and also there's a plan how we intend to address, and also there's a support that we are getting from provincial department, GDAT. I'm sure some of you have seen recently on the news where there was also intervention from the office of the MEC Cogta, where we're dealing with all the dump that is outside. So there's a new landfill site called Yakani that's under design, and there's also existing landfill site called Springs. We did hear the concern of the public that the landfill site at Springs is a bit far. Sometimes it creates a problem because the transfer station that are within the municipality, some of them, they've reached its capacity because they are closed. So in the recent weeks, we've opened up the new transfer station that is located in Zone 7. The other challenge that we have, which we're still having currently, that we're addressing, was the issue of the fleet, Chair. The number of compactors that we have, in majority of them, we had breakdowns, and others were with the mechanics. We still have those challenges, but we've seen that there's also a cost on that where our workers, they need to work overtime because not all the shifts can work at the same time. So we are in the process of concluding a long list term contract where we'll be getting the compactors and other vehicles that are needed for service delivery. This, in the main, Chair, it will help us in dealing with, first you want to say, with driver behavior. That will be monitored because there will be a tracker here in the system. The issue of overtime, whereby now we'll have all full teams will be working on the ground, collecting waste. And also as well, where if we have a breakdown, we will have immediately have the vehicle that is available, to assist with the removal of waste. Then there was a question that was asked by a member to say, last year the vacancy rate, it was 67%. We fully agree with you, Chair. Yes, it was very high. Not only critical position, where also the vacancies were very high. So, Chair, what we have done, we've improved, as the Executive Mayor in his opening 5-minute speech indicated. How was the situation at Emfhuleni, starting from the top executive management, where at some point it was only myself and the CRO who were permanent employed. The rest of the executive that you see them in front of you and at the back, they were not appointed. So we've since improved, not only on these ones, also on illegal, on our legal services. It was very bad. At some point we had one person from legal services, but we've improved that. We've appointed the legal manager, the legal advisors, also other members, in the labor relation. And also to add on that what came as improvement, or what have resulted as improvement, what Executive Mayor has alluded on the 100% make expenditure. Our staff was very low. We had 2 technicians. At that time, we did receive support from the province in the likes of SAIC and also MISA. But we've improved. Since we've appointed the staff under the infrastructure planning development, that's why now we see an improvement. And indeed, now we can also report to this committee that due to the attachment of bank account, we've put under Schedule 6B. But because of what we've demonstrated, the capacity and the ability to perform on the MIG, now we are appointed that we can implement Schedule 6B. Otherwise, it has been returned to the municipality to perform that function. In addition to that, on the expenditure, where we spent end of May, we requested Cogta to grant us a go-ahead to proceed to spend some of the monies here internally, where in the beginning of the new financial, which is this financial year, that we can be reimbursed. So in other words, we have spent more than, but we did get approvals before we spend. Then there was a question on the water losses. The chief director from it is here. He will add where I left off. 62% indeed. The water losses are very high. There's a causality into that effect, and also there's a plan of action that is taken by the municipality. The old age or aging infrastructure is causing a lot of water losses, and also the unmetered household is causing a huge water losses. The other factor, Chair, it was the lack of master plan, which was not there. As a municipality, we have developed the water asset and sanitation master plan. We have also developed water and sanitation master plan and the water service development plan. And together with Rainwater, we have developed a water conservation and demand management plan. On road and stormwater, we are in the process of developing the master plan. Also on electricity, we have made provision, council, this year to develop that asset master plan. So also on electricity, the managed electricity is here, but it's similar challenge, of the infrastructure and the illegal connection that is there. Chair, just pardon me, on the other plan that we have on the water, to recover or to cap these losses or to recover on revenue, because where the challenge unable or find it difficult, to pay the bulk water service provider, which is rainwater, which time to time they led to the attachment of account. But we came up with the resolution to say how can we deal with this matter moving forward, so that we avoid the attachment of bank account, where we came up with a process that we need to enter into the special purpose vehicles, where together we'll deal with the challenges of water. Similarly, to electricity, Chair, we are under DAA. The DAA is a discipline agency agreement, where rainwater and large power users of electricity, they went to court where they forwarded their prayers that they need to pay ESCOM directly. There was an outcome, the verdict of July 2023, whereby one of the conditions was that the municipality must appoint ESCOM as a distribution agency agreement. So that was done. Currently we're implementing that. We are under the DAA. It just came after this Circular 124 of the National Treasury, where we are under debt relief. So the DAA is working very well. We're working together with ESCOM, where it's very clear that where there's no meters, ESCOM need to install meters. Where meters are not working, and then ESCOM need to do that. And also where there's a capital expenditure or intervention, we need to do that. So we're working together with ESCOM in that program. So it deals with all the issues that we need to deal with in terms of electricity. Chair, before I hand it over to the CFO and the COO, let me just check whether I've got any other issues. Okay, let me hand over to the COO and the CFO. Through you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will only take the UIF one because it's been raised almost in threefold. But first, I would like to bring that the 7.65 billion that was written off had an history items that is started from 2014 up until 2023. That is why the magnitude of the amount reflects the 7.65. What we tackled in terms of the municipality was that we looked at item per item in terms of the the unauthorized. But the whole 7.65 Chair is rent, water, and ESCOM overspending in terms of our budget. That is the only two creditors that we have that made that 7.65. The reason may be, Honorable Member, you find that there is no consequence management in that regard. What happened is the bill that comes from ESCOM in terms of our accounting will have to accrue it, and it overspend our budget at the end of the day. That is the items that we looked at in terms of analyzing our unauthorized expenditure, and we took the report to council and further to MPEC in terms of that explanation, and MPEC and council agreed in terms of how the process unfolded. That is why there was no person held accountable to or held to find that there was some offense. That is basically how the 7.65 of the unauthorized came into the picture. It's almost 9 years of the unauthorized. The municipality never looked at that one to ensure that that unauthorized is being taken on year-to-year basis. But in the previous financial year, in terms of that analysis, we looked at it and made sure that we deal with the unauthorized, and the remaining balance, as you see in the annual financial statement, are related to other transactions that relate to normal procurement processes. That is where the report in terms of the resolution of council was to say those items needs to go to MPEC and Financial Disciplinary Board for further investigation to check as to whether what transpired, was there any irregularities in relation to those transactions. And the process is still ongoing. As you can see, the backlog of what our UIFNW is on that document, Chair. I think I've tried to cover both the three in terms of the UIF and W.
Through you, Chair, I will deal with the issue of the write-off. It is not a write-off taking the balance out of the books. It is an impairment based on Emfhuleni policy, and also the policy looks at debt that is over 90 days, and then we go through in detail to check whether that amount will be recoverable, and then we make provision for that, which is impairment. And based on that, because if you look at our outstanding debt, most of it is sitting over 90 days, which meant we had to make provision for that. So it's not write-off and taken off the book. It's an accounting treatment for where having assets, you are not going to likely recover the amount. That is the impairment that we have done. I must indicate that yes, we are currently, as part of revenue enhancement, going through incentive scheme where we give residents and business that comes to us for relief, and we are taking that also with credit control measures. But we have not yet written off 91%. It's an impairment. And the question was, how do we operate when we have got these high losses? Yes, indeed, it is a challenge. That's why we are taking initiatives to work with Rainwater and ESCOM to resolve the issue of high water losses. Because you can imagine, Chair, if you buy for R1 and you lose 62 cents, it then means you need to recover the R1 from the 48 cents that you are selling. And with that, either you will have to overcharge the customer or you will never recover. And that under recovery leads to unfunded budget, which is the big issue that we are faced with. So we have agreed to work with Rainwater to have an SPV that will assist the municipality to get funding for the infrastructure that is causing these high losses. And we believe working with Rainwater, we will improve on the infrastructure and reduce losses. And in the end, we will have a budget that is funded. The other expenditure, it's mainly expenditure that from a materiality, it's below a material level to be disclosed, so they are added together. We can bring the drill down of that expenditure. The unfunded budget, as I've indicated, our biggest problem is two service providers. It's ESCOM and Rainwater. Together we are owing more than 9 billion for those two. So even if we have budgeted for surplus in the current financial year, the fact that we owe ESCOM and Rainwater such amount means that our budget cannot be funded if we are looking at the balance sheet. So with that, as indicated, we are participating on debt relief, where if we get qualification on the 5.9 billion that is part of the debt relief, we will see significant improvement on the balance sheet. And also, when the SPV gets implemented, the 1.3 billion, it's also being ceded to the SPV, and that will lead to an improvement in the balance sheet, which will create a budget that is funded. And going forward, we will want to maintain that.
Thanks, Chair. I think there is two that I picked that we did not
Are you
respond to.
done? Did you hear about the court case CFO and all the? Okay, you're fine with it. You're not fine. And then
Thanks, Chair.
Ghost workers and disposal shops. Okay, that's fine. Ghost workers.
On ghost workers, the MM did mention that we don't have any information about ghost workers in the municipality. On the issue of the supply chain manager and the CFO, it's a civil matter. It's not a matter that includes the institution. That is it in summary, Chair. Thanks.
Chair, can I come back? Thanks, Chair. So, comrades, are you saying all of you 2, 4, 6, 7, you don't know anything about ghost workers? That's what you are communicating to this parliament. Chair, through to you.
Pass the mic.
No, I want them so I can come.
No, it won't be like that. Just ask the rest of the questions that are outstanding.
It's going to be very difficult because I need to get from them if all of them are saying they don't know. Because, Chair, this is an undermining. This issue even went to the legislature. It is recorded that this matter was taken to the legislature through a member of the legislature, whereby you were paying 2 senior people. One was an accountant as a ghost, was paid an amount of 40,000 per month. And the other one was a senior engineering, who was paid 65,000 per month. So since 2019, the municipality was losing 3 million for one person. So therefore, we wanted to know, how did you resolve that matter? Because one is supposed to be an accounting officer, and consequences supposed to be following if you are serious about saving the municipality. That is the question. So now I'm very shocked if all of you are colluding to say you don't know about this matter. Is either you are new or you are hiding corruption on the municipality, a struggling municipality for that matter. I'm not satisfied the way you also responded in regards to the issue of the former CFO, who happened, that you also have to share with the committee what happened to that former CFO. Because the former CFO took the matter to court, saying a person who is responsible for a supply chain management in the municipality, the way you respond to it, leadership, saying that the municipality was not involved. Whether the municipality was not involved in paper, the municipality is involved because it's a CFO from the municipality accusing a person in the supply chain management, saying that you want to normalize crime because you are forcing me as a CFO to sign wrong things. Because you are a member of a political party, we are heading a supply chain management, we are saying that I must give or must I sign in order for a member of a political party to get tender. That is corruption in the municipality. And I don't know why you don't have an appetite to go beyond and said, no, not in our name as a municipality. But you come here, you said, that thing, it must be separated, the municipality was not involved. It involves because it involves taxpayers' money in the municipality, especially the struggling municipality in Gauteng. Thank you, Chair.
Now you'll get a direct response.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I will respond on the 2 personnel that the member is referring to, yes, I did respond that I'm not aware of. If I have to,
Just repeat that, I couldn't pick
okay,
up.
I responded earlier that I'm not aware of the ghost workers. If the member is referring to the legislature questionnaire, where there was one employee that went away for the longest period of time, that employee was dismissed. And also he is
Wait. You're not aware of the ghost workers, the two that the member is mentioning. And then you're saying if the member is referring to a question that went to Parliament, what was the question and what was the answer and what was the action?
Thank you, Chair. I'm referring to say, when she does the follow-up, he's saying there was a questionnaire that was raised by the legislature. Because the first, when he started, he said, any ghost workers. And then I said, I'm not aware of any ghost workers. Now, when she doing the follow-up, she said there was a legislature questionnaire. So now, in the absence of that in front of me, I can only think about the two employees that where there was a legislature questionnaire, and those two employees, the matter where they went away, they were away for the longest time, for instance, at work, that was dealt with, were dismissed. Those
Were
employees.
they municipal police? You saying they were police or colleagues? I couldn't get.
Employees.
Employees of the municipality.
Yes.
What work were they doing in the municipality?
One, it was an accountant, and the other one is on community services. I think my ED is here. He will tell me what exactly is work.
What did they do so that they get dismissed?
The one that was dismissed, he was not coming to work. We did follow the processes in terms of the bargaining disciplinary process. We write to him to say he must come to work. We give him the time frame, and then he never came, and then we dismissed him.
The other one?
The other one, the colleagues can assist me on that one. Also was not coming to work, but the executive director is here, to give me the details on that one.
He was an engineer.
I'm told that he was an engineer.
So the one was an accountant, the one was an engineer. Both of them were dismissed. The second one was dismissed for what?
As I'm saying, Chair, the corporate service is here. He will assist us.
Let's give it to him.
Thank you.
Corporate services. Come with your chair and sit on the side. We have to see you. Come to the just same line, so we're visible. Introduce yourself and then tell us about the two guys.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Mthunzi. I'm the acting ED Shared Services. The circumstances that led to the employees being dismissed were in relation to their abscondment of them not being at work. And then we initiated the disciplinary processes where we started by calling them to come to the municipality to report for duty. If they did not, we gave them a particular time, and then we followed the disciplinary processes which led to their dismissal. And since they've been dismissed, nothing has happened. It ended up to that extent.
For how long were they away? For how long did they go away? Were they away from work?
It was a number of months. Chair, I'm not sure because I only joined the municipality in 2023 in July.
That's good enough already. Number of months. And was there a case after that? Any investigation? Anything? Did anybody get any further information?
Yes, the HR department did follow up as to what was happening, because we also were able to trace that despite the fact that the employee was receiving the salary, there were timesheets that were being submitted. We also tried to check that who was submitting the timesheets. But to the effect that this employee, it transpired that this employee, when we also checked with the manager, they were never at work. So hence we decided to proceed with the processes to dismiss them.
So somebody in the municipality kept making timesheets for them to show that they were at work.
We tried to establish that one, but we could not get it as to who was signing the timesheets, because the timesheets were arriving at pay office for the employee to receive the salary at the month.
So it only come to receive money? Or they were just getting it deposited in their banks?
It comes deposited in the bank.
So how did you know they were not there because you had the work schedule?
This is why I'm saying that we had to follow up with the HR department and our department that is investigating it with the managers. And that's when we picked up that this manager indicated that this person was never at work. Hence we proceeded to letters of abscondment to call the person to work, so that we can table the disciplinary process. Failing that, we will then take action against that employee.
Okay, so Mayor, this issue, the member describes two things. One is she says they were ghost workers. Secondly, she says one was an accountant, was paid, the other one was an engineer, was paid. But when you don't know anything about it until we have to ask again, and then you say the matter that went to the legislature, that question, you're only answering it there. I don't understand what makes you not to think of it in the first instance, because the description is the same. Were you in the municipality at that time?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think that it happened before my time. That's why I'm not aware of the beginning of this occurrence. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let's close the issue. Khalif, you're done. All right. Honorable Member, you still want to follow up? Same issue. I want your hand is not up. Pass the mic. Aye. There were two hands there that were up. Let's start with them. Yours will come later. Now I know you want to speak.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to make a follow-up on the same issue. So, the person who these people reported to, because in terms of the abscondment process, I think within 10 days, there should be a follow-up that's made and all of that. What investigation did the municipality do to that person who was a supervisor? Because that person's failure to perform their duties diligently and to the best of their abilities, an act of misconduct in terms of the labor law, in fact, in terms of the collective agreement, disciplinary code procedure collective agreement. So what action was taken, and what means to recover the wasteful, the salaries, the monies that this person was getting paid over all of those months? I just have those two. Thank you.
Response?
Chair, no action was taken in relation to the manager consent, and the amounts that were paid for the salaries during that period, they was never recovered.
But do you agree that if somebody is away for so many months that me and you think is many months, such a person should not have been entitled to the money for which he was not at work, and for that reason someone should have actually gone back to say you have to pay this money back? And secondly, once you have someone who is absent for several months but you get timesheets, somebody authorizes and confirms that the person is at work, who is that person?
Chair, like I have indicated, during our investigation, we are unable to trace as to who was that person who was submitting or who was signing for the attendance register for that person to be paid.
Asimi Agelo was submitting. Let's talk about the one who was supervising. We are looking for the one who supervised.
No, Chair, no action was taken against the person who was supervising.
No, see, we know that. We're asking who was the supervisor. Hayi bana baba. Bana bengawazi nalama ghost nani mekancane. Ake sibuyele ngala. Bengawazi nalama ghost. Ake sithola umuntu oyaziyo le ghost.
Chair, I'm not sure as to actually who was the manager concerned, but we can go back and check the manager who was responsible.
But you know two things about the supervisor.
Yes.
One, that they didn't institute any recovery. Two, they themselves were not disciplined.
Yes, Chair.
Right. Now, we now need to know who that supervisor is. I need you know, and I need to get us there. We need to know, because these are the two things that we want to know. But you see, Mayor, the issue is past the supervisor. It's now with the guys in charge of the supervisor. That you can have a case reported even in the legislature. We prove that the people were awarded. We prove that they were paid when they were not at work. We prove that they sent fraudulent work schedules. And we also know that the supervisor was not disciplined. We know there was no recovery. And we're asking the question, there was someone at the top who has actually not done all of these 5 things, and that's the one we want now. Loss on Tolalo. Sfuna lo who was the supervisor. Was that the MM of the time, or was that any one of the directors here? I saw my pendula gale.
Oh, angibonge Sihlalo, one of the things that we can say without being shy about the matter, which I can tell you that Sihlalo, all of us that are sitting here by that time were not yet in office. But what we wanted to request is that can we be given indulgence to go and investigate on the matter, and also to check at the outcomes of the disciplinary proceedings of that time. Then with that, Chair, then we can write a report and send it accordingly to the MEC and then come to you, so that we don't speculate. Because one of the things that one might remember somewhere along the way, Guti, there might be some monies that were recovered with certain processes, but we are not sure of that. So hence we request Sihlalo Guti, can you accord us a chance to go and investigate on the matter and do accordingly to respond to it?
Okay. That approach is different now. So we can agree to that. What we had a problem with is when it sounds like nobody wants to say it again. That was a problem. You are not there, but we want to know, we must go back and find out who. Because part of the problem that is being raised by these members is a question that says, you simply just summarily wrote off expenditure, which was irregular. You didn't investigate, you didn't have any consequences on anybody. And the manager here says, no, your own rules allow you to do that. Now the rules we know don't allow you to do that. They allow you to find somebody and take action. Now, if we are agreeing that you are not there, but now you know what we're talking about, you will now go and investigate with a view to ultimately apportioning culpability onto someone who was in the office at that time. Then we're talking the same language. We can hold it there. Now let's do the last follow-up question. Yes, we'll start with Matt and come this way.
Thank you, Chair.
Wait. You're doing a follow-up and we finished your follow-up. It took us 10 minutes. Now let's get, is that a new question?
No, they have not answered some of my questions, but I can let
They
it
haven't
pass.
answered your question?
Yeah, some of my questions they have not answered.
Oh, okay, other questions.
Other questions, yes. This one was just a follow-up from a colleague's question. The one I made.
Just highlight them, don't elaborate.
Oh, all right, no problem. The first one is on just one service that they can say they are providing. That was one of the questions I asked.
One?
One service that
One service.
Yeah, of their mandate. If they can point out one service, they can say they are providing at least that distinction, one. Number two, I asked them if they've got any private-public partnership plans as a municipality. Those are the arrangements with the private sector in terms of...
On what?
Well, it could be on anything. If they have anything called a triple P plan.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be on any item. Number three, I asked them about the age of the ESCOM debt as well as the customer makeup of it. I did not hear a response on that. And then the security issue. There's alleged high expenditure on security. Around 12 million allegedly spent by April. And I need to understand what is it about. Thank you.
Okay, let's come back. Yes, Honorable Mente?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I didn't hear very well the response on the closure of the offices and the customer care. Why was it closed? Why was the rent not paid? And who was responsible for paying the rent? Secondly, on the non-compliance on your ESCOM agreement in terms of debt agreement, it's very clear, Chair, I was hoping that they are going to go back to what they have written here. Because on their financials that they submitted to us, they confirm that their liquidity status is beyond repair. They confirm that their going concern is irreparable. They confirm that they are not collecting anything. They confirm that they are at 33% staff complement or human resource. And thus, they are just running an office, not a municipality. So I was hoping that they are going to clarify that they are sitting there doing that, but there is no hope of getting anything right. Thank you.
Okay.
Chair, it's on the. I just want to know about the collections for the water and the electricity. Are there any collections at all for those services? Do they get anything? Maybe I misheard.
Okay.
But Chair, lana kukwagogo la Chair.
Dlulisa mic.
Akwenzeki lutho la.
Dlulisa mic.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
No, thanks, Chair. I did not want to miss an opportunity of correcting something that I hear that is incorrect. My question would have been around the 91% write down, not write off, write down. And there is a difference between write down in accounting and impairment. Impairment is a trigger. Write down is an accounting response. An accountant would know that. So I wanted to correct that. I was asking about the write down.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get back to the answers.
No, thank you very much, Slalo. Slalo, let me start from the closure of offices. One is that the municipality has block of offices and which are scattered almost the entire town with different departments. And in this regard, one office that was closed, it was only one block that was closed, and it was closed for a day, Chair. And the fact that it was closed for a day, it was not that the municipality didn't have money to pay the landlord of that building, but it was a challenge of the attachment of the account whereby the municipality was unable to transact from the account, and that was the result. The landlord was engaged before and he was promised, and during that time of this matter of attachment, we were working very close with Emfhuleni, Cogta in the province, Salga in the province, and Rainwater. And at some point we had reached an agreement that the Rainwater was to uplift the account by this day. And then as a result, then it was communicated to the landlord that we will pay you after this day. But unfortunately the account was not uplifted. And as a result, then that is the reason of what happened, Chair.
From what we have here, the issue is that, and this might be somewhere else, it might not be but it says, as per Val Weekblad News Report, 30th of July, The municipality offices, including customer care center, were closed from 30th July to 2025 until further notice due to rental arrears, making it impossible for residents to receive municipal customer services. They're not saying one day. They're saying until further notice.
Oh, no, Chair, I think what appeared on Valviek Blad, it's a local newspaper.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
But
so-
see, now we've got a basis for asking you the question, because somebody in the area told us, and that's Valviek Blad.
Okay, but the statement is incorrect, Chair. It happened for a day which appeared on the Valviek, and on the very same day, that was the day that the account was then uplifted and arrangements were done. On the following day, it was business as usual. The municipal offices were working, Chair.
Okay, let's deal with the other question. Let's deal with this question, because I just want us to get out so I can hear what you're saying. Just one service that you are rendering. That was the question.
That's fine. I can answer.
Well, Chair, there are several services that the municipality is providing, though not to an excellent.
Your municipality.
Yes, that Emfhuleni, though not to no excellency, Chair. But these are the matters that we are improving on. Hence, at some point.
No. We're not just telling the story. That's why I wanted you to go to the MM. I wanted something that's concrete there. Let's just get MM. And it's better if we get MM to answer that question.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the service that we deliver excellence, although there are losses, is water. You will never had a complaint of shortage of water as much. The water losses are very high due to infrastructure, but we deliver waters every day to the community. In addition to that, the water that provide Gauteng is coming from Emfhuleni.
Okay.
To ensure that substation is delivered with electricity uninterrupted. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let's deal with the other questions. You can give me the other responses.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of the debt relief, the ESCOM one, if the honorable member can recall, we are saying in the previous process cycle of the debt relief, we were able to get the 1.9 billion write-off. It was, if you look at the financial statement, the outcome of the debt relief in terms of National Treasury giving us a directive to say, did we qualify, came during the process of the audit, and we were able to adjust the financial statement in line with the letter that came from Treasury to say we have been qualifying for that 1.9 billion. But in looking at the process, as like currently as we speak in our second cycle, we are still waiting for National Treasury to do the analysis in terms of whether are we qualifying for the second tranche of the debt relief. Basically, what was given before vis-a-vis the outcome that we got from Treasury is what I'm trying to address to say we were able to in that instance, Chair.
Let's deal with the other question.
The other question, I think, which we have missed, Chair, was the use of consultant on the asset. Chair, it's not consultant per se. What transpired here is that we have got a subsystem that runs our asset management. The service provider is doing support of the system. One might regard them as if it's consultant. They are more similar with our financial system, which they are also doing a support in terms of ensuring that their system is credible and is producing the data that will be sufficient. And that is why in the issue of AG, when we were discussing the IQMS service provider, was that there is transactions that are pushed from the subsystem into our main ledger from there they are pushed to the case where for the financial statement, whereby the finding was basically the reclassification of transactions. That is basically what was happening, so that when they look at all the three, in the final set of the financials, there were misclassification of transactions. That is why we were able to now correct that classification. But the net figure of our assets did not have any effect. It was just a matter of moving item from electricity to water within the infrastructure cluster. Thanks.
Chair, the other question was, when did we start really owing ESCOM? It started from 2017. That's how the balance has been growing since 2017. Also on the rainwater, it started around 2015. So that has been the challenge to reduce that cost. Chair, I would not want to debate impairment versus write-off, but
I'll give you 1 minute to debate it. I'll give you 1 minute to debate it.
Chair, when we do if debtors are not paying, and that debt go to 90 days, when we do the assessment, we will then say, is this amount still recoverable? And through National Treasury guidelines, once the debtor is 90 days and older, it's unlikely to be recoverable. Then you have to make provision for that amount. So you account it and you process it on your financial statement that this amount is unlikely to be recoverable. However, you have not yet taken it off the book. That's why you will see on the note, we are indicating what is the balance outstanding, what is the provision, and then the net balance that is on the financial statement. Thank you.
What is your debate? The debate point here, you agree or disagree? Are you saying the same thing? Because I don't seem to hear that. The question, I'm gonna call Treasury here as well on the same point, so we don't go out with a query. So I'm asking the question: at which point do you agree? At which point do you disagree?
Chair, I heard the member saying it's not an impairment.
Sorry?
I heard the member saying it's not an impairment.
And you are saying?
I am saying it is an impairment.
All right, let's move on. No, just wait. We're not done with the questions. No, I'll give you. I'll give it to him. Nick. Now you wait for the last answer, then you can come back to your point. Yes, madam.
Good evening, Chairperson. My name is Thandiwe Matebula. I'm the Executive Manager for Community Services, also responsible for public safety and security. There was a question about spending of a lot of money on security, and then we were asked why is that and what are we spending on. Security services are charged on rates that have been tendered. And then what we do is that every month, I'll give a number in terms of the number of sites that we have. We have 181 sites. So every month what we do is that we look at the breakdown of those sites and then count the number of guards and the amount as originally tendered. And then the total will then come to the amount given. We were given 12 million. I took it that it was from 2025. And then in terms of, in fact, I also wanted to add that for the running tender, which is the latest tender, we insisted that the rates should strictly be according to the regulator, which is the private security regulator, CIRA. And then in terms of what is it that we guard, before I mention that, I want to say that the municipality only uses a physical security in terms of human bodies, but the municipality is also exploring the possibility of electronic security so that then we remove the home bodies. What is it that we guard? We guard municipal buildings. It could be in the form of clinics or fire stations, libraries.
No, don't deal with it like that.
Okay.
You could be guarding a hall, you could be guarding a house.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You must say, we're guarding so many offices, we're guarding so many clinics, we're guarding so many residential buildings, we're guarding so many cemeteries. Because it's an existing tender, it's not a generic proposal of a security contract.
Yes. Chair, I checked the number of sites, which is 181. If you give me a chance, I can quickly get the breakdown of what sites we got. I know the type of sites we got, but then I can get you a breakdown to say how many cemeteries, how many clinics, how many fire stations, how many offices, things like that.
I don't know what the member was asking. My question wouldn't be that. My question would be who counts to check and audit that those guards are there?
We do have a team of internal security people, more senior people at superintendent level, who go to sites and check that those people are there.
And you can do you supervise that report?
Yes.
And you can produce it?
Yes.
Right, I'll come back then. Okay. Let's get back then.
Thanks, Chair. I think one, Chair, perhaps I must just to the contest. My question would have been around. I was asking ESCOM would have enrolled them in the debt relief program, of which they did not fully comply with. That was due to the fact that they did not collect debt owed to them. Now, I'm saying to them, how did they arrive at the decision of writing down their debtors with 91% of outstanding debt while they are still struggling financially? Now, instead of answering my question, they are saying to me they did not write off the debt, they impaired it. Now, I'm saying to them, I would have said in my original question, they did not write it off, they wrote it down. Now, I was saying to them as I explained this impairment and what. I'm saying now, an impairment is when a particular asset loses value. Then after it has lost value, you need to write it down to reflect the real value on your accounting books. That is when then I'm saying an impairment is a trigger, but a write down is an accounting response. But basically my question would have been around the issue that why did they write down their debt by 91% and which made them to not, or they did not collect after they've written that debt down, whereas which would have made them to not comply with the program that they were put at by ESCOM since they are struggling. And that was the context of my question.
Okay. So, hold on then. No, that's fine. Let's leave it. Mkalipi? AG's office, Treasury, please come over to the front here. Let's deal with this issue.
Okay, Chair.
We have got a very serious argument here. We must go out of here properly educated about who is right. So please ask your question, we'll follow up the answers.
Okay, Chair. I'm still on the issue of the former CFO, the secretary of a certain political party who's a supply manager. It seems as if you don't have an appetite to respond to this question. Whether the CFO won a case against on his individual capacity, the fact remains he was the CFO of the municipality. And if we are very serious in the team to fight corruption, you won't be wishy-washy about this matter. Because after that court case, after the former CFO won the court case, you, I'm referring to the institution, suspended the current supply manager.
You are starting the question again.
They don't want to respond.
No, just make it shorter because it's a follow-up.
So I want to know, because my opening question was that, is it ethical to have a person who is holding a political office, a secretary, to be a supply chain manager on top of the court case that is there? So do you think, is it ethical according to you? To fight corruption, are you going to be able to fight corruption with this situation?
Okay.
And
No, that's
what
fine.
happened to the CFO?
No, let's leave it now. Okay. Let's get a response.
Chair, I think there's a misconception. Let me try and clarify it. The supply chain manager took the former CFO to court for derogatory remarks that were made in a WhatsApp group. And there was a judgment that came into the effect that suggested that the supply chain manager is corrupt. These allegations were never tested. And there is an appeal to that effect that is at the Supreme Court in Bloemfontein. That is why we said it's a civil matter, which we believe that as a municipality, we are not involved. However, the CFO, the former CFO, was not expelled as a result of those particular allegations. There are other allegations which were undertaken, which then made him to be expelled from the institution. I just thought I should clarify that particular misconception, Chair. On issue of ethics, I believe that if it is indeed proven that a particular person is corrupt, not according to a newspaper headline or allegations that have not been tested, as the institution, we will take action against those particular individuals. Thanks.
Can you start? Sorry, can you look at the hands? All right, let's start here. Let's move. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. The one question I want to ask, without waste of time, is the one of, I think it's very difficult, the situation where you are in trouble. I mean, you are really in a dwang. And then you are given, you are thrown a lifeline to try and get you out of the situation. But now it's reflected here that there was non-compliance with the Treasury's Municipal Debt Relief Program. I would like to know, why did you not do that? Because we are seeing this recurring all the time, whether it's Treasury or the AG, time and time again, years in succession, they are just not heeded. That was my first question. Then I wanted also to know, through you, the bonuses. Are there any bonuses that have been paid? Number one. Number two, how much? The number. And then come to salaries, the percentage of salaries to revenue. And then are there any staff death and also councillors who owe the municipality? I think the others have been asked by my colleagues. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Chair. I want to ask the question on the delegation here. Are you paying the pension funds to the fund? If not, how long have you not paid them how much you are owing? The employees' pension funds, are you paying them? Are you paying them over to the fund? Number two, Section 32 of the MFMA, Section 32, subsection 2D. B, in the case of irregular or fruitless and wasteful expenditure, it is after investigation by the council committee, certified by council as irrecoverable and written off by council. You don't just look at it and then you recommend it to the council and then you write it off. That is why you sit with dispute between the municipality and the AG. You are writing off 7-point-something billion. And have you satisfied, as the council committee satisfied itself through investigation that that amount can be written off? Can you give us information, or can you give us evidence of investigating the amounts, then satisfying yourself that the amounts are irrecoverable, then writing them off? Because you have a responsibility, according to Section 62D, that you have a responsibility as an accounting officer to prevent irregular and wasteful expenditure from occurring. Now, after writing off such a big amount, now the question that follows is, after writing off this big amount, the current unauthorized expenditure that occurred during the year then, what did you do to prevent it? Who was held liable? Because if you go to Section 32(1)(a), it says even if it's an instruction from a political bearer or a political office bearer to you as an accounting officer, you have a duty to prevent it from happening. If it does, then someone must be held accountable. So it's surprising that you wrote off such a big amount, but no one was held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Proceed.
May I go ahead, Chair?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Chair. Forgive me, Chair, but I might indulge in terms of maybe taking a little time, because I want to communicate and get my questions through clearly, and like the others have had an opportunity, I would also like to make maximum use of my opportunity. So please forgive me with absolute due respect, Chairperson. Okay. And then, of course, I might also take liberty to ask follow-ups like many of my other colleagues have.
You will get the chance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so, colleagues, put it in simple English, this is a damning municipality. I mean, when I read the reports, guys, I mean, with due respect, this is like, I mean, let me ask you this, and please give us a concise, transparent reply. Why does the municipality take 771 days to pay creditors? Please jot it down, because you might miss it out, and then I have to come back and say my question's not answered. So, why does the municipality take 771 days to pay creditors, where in terms of legislation you should be paying your creditors within 30 days? You know that, I know that. I must then ask you, what measures are being implemented to improve your payment timelines? And of course, avoid this unnecessary accumulation of interest or penalties, which I think was alluded to by my colleagues earlier in the discussion. How does this delay in paying creditors affect service delivery? The way you see it, I want to hear the opinion from the municipality. What do you think is your municipality's reputation with your suppliers, people that supply you taps, gate valves, tools? Because I know if I was a supplier, I know what my response would be. But what is your reputation currently with your suppliers? Do you get any accounts? Do you get any debt? Or you just have no stock of anything in your workshops? on debt recovery. What is the reason that 91% of municipal debt seems highly unlikely to be recovered? 91% of your debt seems highly unlikely to be recovered. What is the reason behind that? Then I was asked, with your permission, Chairperson, in terms of your debt, what in your opinion are which are the categories that you think are contributing towards uncollectible debt? Is it the households? Is it business? Is it government entities that you think are not paying your debt or contributing the most towards these arrears? Then, Chairperson, finally, two things. I'd like to hear and understand what strategies are there perhaps in place to improve your revenue collection and recover historic debt, which by the sound of things and what I've heard, I don't think you've got any plan in terms of recovering historic debt. And finally, to conclude, I still don't comprehend how would this with your current unfunded budget that you have, utilizing every bit of rand that comes into the municipality towards operational expenses. Please explain, how do you guys pay your salaries? How do you afford to pay your salaries and your employees' salaries and the medical aids and the pension funds, etc.? Because it seems to be a real hopeless scenario. Chairperson, I'll hold for there now, and I thank you for allowing me the indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just want to say that for the last 2 days we've been in Gauteng, but for the previous 3 days we were in the Northwest Province. So when I read information about your municipality, I tried to grasp in my mind why you would be in what can only really be called a catastrophic situation. And I thought, well, maybe it's like some of the Northwest municipalities where there's almost no tax base, or where there's no big towns, or there's nowhere that you can actually get a proper level of rates and services. So I went onto Wikipedia to get an explanation of exactly who Emfhuleni is. And they say it's the westernmost local municipality in the district, covers an area of 987 square kilometers at the heart of the Vaal Triangle. It is located in the former industrial heartland of Gauteng, which created employment and wealth for Sebekeng, Van der Bijl Park, Vereniging, Three Rivers and Sharpeville. Now, my mind boggles actually when you've got major towns like that, that should be your tax base, and right next door you've got Mid-Vaal, which is probably one of the most financially sustainable municipalities in the province and the country. I mean, what is the difference? What has not been done in Emfhuleni that's been done in Mid-Vaal that causes that to be successfully run, that doesn't lose 66% of its water, or 62% of its water? I mean, everything we read here is just catastrophic. And I'm battling to understand, maybe someone there can help me just explain the difference. You've got two really major towns, you've got huge factories, industrial heartland of Gauteng, and you can't make the thing work. Now, the other thing I just want to highlight there was that your huge loss in water, okay, with 62.1% of all water. How many kilometers of water pipes have you replaced in the last 3 years, okay? So obviously there must be some spending on infrastructure somewhere. What have you done to try and arrest that, and what plans for the future do you have to try and arrest that? Because I mean, you know, you might as well close up shop if you are going to be throwing away 2/3 of all the water that comes through your pipes. I mean, you can't possibly be financially sustainable if that happens. So have you done anything in the last 3 years to try and alleviate that? And I presume also that some of your losses probably are from theft and people stealing electricity, you know, linking into your electricity network and not paying you for it. So what are you doing to alleviate that? What are you doing to stop theft? And the question I want to ask is, Eskom sells you electricity. Why are you not collecting money for that electricity? I can't understand how you could have built up such a major debt with Eskom. I mean, did you just not bother to ask people to pay their bills? I mean, it's staggering. So please, I really would love to get an explanation. We've all asking details about, whether one official's done this or percentages there. But please explain to me how your municipality got into this mess when around it there are others who actually are doing pretty well. And you've got a fantastic potential tax base as well. I mean, it's not like you only have informal settlements in a rural area with nobody that can afford to pay rates. It's completely, I don't know, I actually have no understanding. So maybe you can enlighten me. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. Go ahead.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Chair. And greetings to the team of Emfhuleni, as led by the Executive Mayor. At some point, Executive Mayor, you had a challenge of sewage pollution of the Val River. I just want to find out if is that still the case? If yes, how are you planning to address that? If no, how did you manage to get it right? Secondly, you received 3 consecutive qualification audit opinion from the HESA. And I assume that you do have an audit action plan to deal with that. But my question is, what is it that we are currently doing differently to make sure that you get out of a qualification and you get a better audit opinion? Because I mean, if you get it for 3 consecutive years and each and every year you do have your audit action plan, but you still get the same results, I think you should obviously think about doing things differently. So what is it that we are currently doing differently to make sure that we are getting out of qualification? Lastly, according to HESA, you have weak performance management system for senior managers, and that obviously contribute to poor service delivery. So what is your comment on that? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Nontenja from Scopa. I'd like to know what are the reasons for non-compliance with the Treasury's municipal debt relief program. Why are you not complying? Your budget was not linked to specific indicators. What was the reason for that? I'd like to know, when your offices were closed because of not paying the rental, how did that impact on the residents that were using that office? And what alternatives were given to the residents at that point? And what are the plans to ensure that this doesn't reoccur? On the 7.65 billion unauthorized write-off, why would the AG say it was unlawfully written off if that is not the case? Maybe you should take us into confidence. Thank you.
Thank you. I did ask AG and Treasurer to come to the front. Just bring the chairs here whilst we're going through it. Please come in.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, in all the reports that I've read, what I'm going to ask the municipality now, first of all, good afternoon to the leadership here. You've not mentioned anything, and this is what I'm going to ask you. How is the municipality responding to the subpoena issued by the South African Human Rights Commission regarding ongoing sewage spillages and water failures? And this was now May 2025. Nowhere in any of your reports have you mentioned that. What immediate and long-term remedial actions are being implemented to address the sewage crisis, which is what my colleagues have already mentioned? Given the persistent raw sewage flow into communities and rivers, despite reported repair spending of over 200 million, in your own report, you are saying here, roads and stormwater not adequately maintained, roads are littered with potholes and flooded by sewage, posing health and safety risks to residents. The next question, and my last question, Chairperson, what is the municipality's timeline and accountability framework for restoring reliable access to clean water and dignified sanitation in line with the constitutional obligations and human rights standards? Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just check one thing quickly? How much do you collect? To just give me that answer in monetary terms and percentage terms. You haven't said anything yet.
It comes to about 5 billion.
The collection?
Yes.
What percentage is that of your revenue?
It's about 73%.
70?
3%.
77%?
73.
73%?
Yes.
Okay. Please start responding to the questions.
Thanks once again, Chair. On the debt owed by councillors, the amount is 987 million. I mean 987,000, and the debt owed by employees, it's 27 million. And of course, where we are able to institute credit control, we are able to institute credit control against those particular employees, and arrangements are made to that effect. One of the most unfortunate thing is that some of these employees come in the municipality with those particular households already owing municipal debt, and it becomes very difficult to maybe take a large chunk of their salaries for that to go into the arrangement. I'll also sneak in the issue of government debts owed to the municipality. Chair, we do know that the Department of Health in Gauteng owes the municipality close to an amount of 200 million. And maybe as this committee, as and when you conclude, it's one of the matters that should be taken to National Treasury to enforce Section 216 of the MFMA, so that that particular payment or debt that is owed to the municipality is apportioned to the municipality. We have engaged in IGR processes with the department. Initially, the matter was in court, and we still feel that as a municipality we are hard done, and that particular amount of money is significant. Responding to the issues of our stores is not exposed. We do have material in our stores. On the issues of the debt relief, maybe we need to put an emphasis. Part and parcel or part of the reasons why the municipality received the 1.9 billion write-off, it's because it complied with the minimum requirements of the National Treasury debt relief. Honorable member makes a correct point to say that as Emfhuleni, we were a highly industrialized area, but recently, and I'm sure reading the news, you would know that companies such as ArcelorMittal are closing down some of their plants, and thus putting out their employees, in fact, retrenching their employees, and that on its own will be eroding our revenue base. But to mitigate such, you would remember that we are one of the municipalities that are earmarked for the special economic zone, which will draw billions and billions of investment, and which we believe that will create jobs, and that being transferred into revenue. The Vaal Metropolis is one of the biggest investments that we're also looking into, and the Vaal River City. These are not plans, but already things that are in process, and we are confident that once we get that in order, we shall recover as a municipality. To deal with the water losses, part and parcel why the municipality took a decision, or council took a decision to establish a special purpose vehicle, was as a result to say that we could not have a capacity as a municipality to deal with that. Therefore, we partnered with Rainwater to deal with all this aging infrastructure, and to ensure that monies owed to the municipality are therefore collected. Thanks, Chair.
Chair, just to indicate that AG, when they made the finding to say we are unlikely to get the debt relief, National Treasury had not made the decision. The decision came after, and we did get the write-off of 1.9 billion. We can finish that communication of the 1.9 billion write-off, the first tranche, which National Treasury has approved. So there is a write-off of 1.9 billion. We are awaiting decision on the second tranche of write-off, which National Treasury will communicate. The question on are we paying third parties and pensions? Yes, we are paying. There is a dispute with SALA, which comes from 2015. We have been paying them on a monthly basis, but there's an amount that they indicate was not paid in 2015. We have asked them to finish the details. I must indicate even now we have not been finished with the details of that outstanding amount. Our debtors, mainly the outstanding 72%, it's on household, and about 80% of that, it's more than 90 days. So household, it's a challenge, and we collect in what we will say former Black Township less than 20%. And because of that, when you average your collection, it significantly goes down. Currently on electricity, we are above 80%, but when we look at township for all the services, it's below 20%, and that has got an impact on our cash flow. And of course, Honorable Member, you are correct, 771 days. It's because if you take the 8 billion and the 1.3 billion that are owed to Eskom and Rainwater in your calculation, then it will give you that, because they have been there long outstanding, as I indicated, since 2017. So that has got an impact on the creditors' payment period. However, we do an analysis of invoices, and we have seen that 46% of the invoices are being paid within 30 days, and 54% are being paid over 30 days. So we are trying But that amount, until we reduce the ESCOM and rainwater debt, the payment period will remain higher. As the MMC has indicated, the decline or the closure of meter has got a serious impact on the municipality, because most of the business were really the results of ArcelorMittal when it was still ISCO, where it had a number of plants that were working over a period that production has been declining and impacting on any other related business that rely on meter. It's already open that there's likelihood of the closure, and that will significantly impact on our revenue, because it impacts both the business side and also the employees that have been retrenched that now need to go to our indigent database so that we can continue to service them while they are not paying. And with the impact of unemployment that currently sits at 56%, you can understand the impact on the payment of services. And unfortunately, that is the current situation, and I agree, we look like a rural municipality when you start looking at the issues that are affecting the municipality. That's why we are now looking outside of the steel industry to see what are the other opportunities that we can attract investment within the municipality. And that's what we are doing with the SEZ, with the Val River City, with the Etropolis. But of course, those are long-term projects. Now, what do we need to do to make sure that we attract the investment? And unfortunately, our balance sheet does not give us that leverage. That's why we are going out to work with rainwater, to work with ESCOM, to make sure that they assist us in getting the infrastructure right to attract the investment. The assessment has been made on the water side, where we are losing a lot of water on the infrastructure side. So patching does not assist. The repairs that we are doing, if I do 100 meter today, and then the next month, 100 meter just further down the line breaks, then it looks like we are not doing anything in that infrastructure. That's why we need a big capital injection to ensure that we can revitalize our economy. Chair, I think on the issue of how do we do on a daily basis, what we have done is that we monitor our cash flow on a daily basis. And we look at what is really important. We have to make decisions on a daily basis. We make sure that we pay salaries on time, except when there was an attachment historically. But currently we make sure that we pay salaries, we pay normal operational cost on as we look at the cash, and we do cash forecasting to make sure that we pay all other services. And of course, when we get injection from equitable share every 4 months, we try and deal with other services that have not been paid maybe for more than 2 months. That is how we are trying to manage